Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is Around the Diamond, and we're joined, as always, by Rhett Conway. Rhett, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Good to be back, man.
Yes, so we got a steaming hot take. You're just gonna come in. You're gonna make some people mad, I feel, but the floor is yours on this Aaron Judge take.
Oh, I'm going to make a lot of people mad with this, but I fully believe that Aaron Judge should not win MVP this year.
Okay,
I
all
think that
right.
Aaron Judge should win MVP in any baseball league in the world that does not contain Shohei Ohtani. But I think that to discredit what Ohtani is doing is it's bad. I don't think it's good. I don't like that people are trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To get into it, let's talk about Judge. Right now, as we speak, this is before games start on the 21st of September. He's hitting 316, 419 on base, and a 703 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
All of that leads the majors. His OPS, no, sorry, 703 slugging. His OPS is 1123, which is just, I mean, we're talking video game numbers right now.
You're
His
right.
OPS plus is 214. So to give you an idea, to remind everybody, OPS plus is a weighted stat where 100 is equal.
Okay.
That is completely average. If you are an average hitter, you have an OPS plus of 100. His OPS plus is 214.
Jesus. Okay.
Just because I did a little bit of digging, there have been 106 seasons where someone has had an OPS plus of over 200. It has not happened since 2004 with Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds had an OPS plus of 263, which is just it boggles the mind. Steroids or not. Anyway, going
Right.
back to Judge. Judge is going to break the AL home run record. He has 60 already. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to get it. His in the thrown pitches have actually gone up over the past couple weeks. I don't know why. I'm not trying to say conspiracy or anything like that. I'm just saying the guy is getting strikes and he knows how to hit baseballs really well. He's going to break the AL home run record. And right now he leads the league in all the Triple Crown categories. He's going to get the home run, obviously.
The home run record is 61 or 62?
61 in the American League.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to remember. Roger Maris hit 61 and 61.
Perfect.
So,
and then it's 74 Barry Bonds hit for
73.
the NL. Oh, 73. Okay.
73, and it brings me to one of my points. I love that he's going to break the home run record. I don't love the fact that it's always Yankees. One thing I will say, though, he's breaking the American League home run record. And the only reason why he's breaking the American League home run record is because Aaron and Bonds and McGuire and Sosa all played in the National League, and that's just the luck of the draw.
That's how it is.
That being said, still a record, still breaking it. One thing I want to talk about is Triple Crown numbers. The last guy to have Triple Crown was 2012, Miggy Cabrera. He hit 330 with 44 home runs and 139 RBIs. His OPS plus was a measly 164.
Right.
I mean, what are we even talking about with this guy? And he won the MVP that year. The next year, he had a better offensive year. His OPS plus jumped up to 190. He hit 348. But he didn't win the Triple Crown because Chris Davis hit more home runs and had more RBIs. Now, luckily, the voters were smart enough then. He was the best player in the American League. He won the MVP again. My problem with the Triple Crown comes down to that last number, RBIs. You know who has the most RBIs every year?
I don't.
Who has the most at-bats with runners in scoring position. If you had a guy on third base every time you came up to the plate, all you had to do was hit a sac fly. You'd have 200 RBIs in the season.
That's a good point.
Guys on better teams have more RBIs. That's just, it's the law. It's the way it works. It's average. It's math. Now, not to discredit from Judge, because Judge is also leading the league in on-base percentage at 419, which is very, very good.
Right.
Let's talk about Ohtani for a second.
Okay.
Ohtani has an OPS plus of 148, which is good for 10th in all of baseball. To give you an idea, Juan Soto, the guy who the Padres just blew up their farm system to get in the biggest trade that MLB has ever seen, has an OPS plus of 150.
Okay.
Ohtani has an ERA plus of 165, which is good for 6th in all of baseball, which is essentially the same as Max Fried. In fact, it's actually 2 points better. In pitching WAR, he's 4th with 5.7. Now, this is where the argument comes down, because right now, Judge has a higher WAR than Otani. Judge, depending on who you're talking to, which right there tells you that WAR is still something that's under debate and not a law of the universe. Judge has 10.7 WAR in one category, and I think that's Fangraphs, and Otani only has 8.3 with them, and then with Baseball Reference, he has 9.7, and Otani has 8.7 or something like that. Okay. While I agree that's true, let's talk about value. Number one, value in baseball does not mean that your team makes the playoffs, especially if you're a hitter. Right. You get to hit 1 out of every 9 times. You got to wait your turn. You know, if you're Aaron Judge and you have an OPS plus of 214, that's fantastic. But the other 9 guys are Jackie Bradley Jr. You're not going to the playoffs.
Right.
And for pitching, especially if you're a starting pitcher, you can only pitch 1 every 5 games at most. Maybe there are 4 guys that have done it in the past, but it's becoming less and less likely less and less often with Tommy John.
Right.
The other thing I want to talk about that I think people are glossing over is they say, well, I don't care that he does both. Judge is having this crazy season. And Judge is having this crazy season. He's having the best season anyone's had in baseball, arguably from an OPS standpoint, since 2004. But right there, that's my point. Since 2004, no one has done what Otani is doing this year. Not even Otani last year when he was the unanimous MVP. He is having a statistically better season this year. You combine his ERA plus and his OPS plus, you think that 214 number from Judge sounds great. Otani has combined 313. That is the value he's bringing to his team. Now, I'm sorry that the Angels have the 2 best players in baseball and are the worst managed team.
It's unbelievable.
I don't understand how they do it. If Pujols goes away from him, suddenly he can't stop hitting home runs. By the way, God, I hope he gets 700.
Yes, it's closing in.
If Judge gets a AL record and Pujols gets 700 in the same season, that'd be wonderful. Anyway, back to my other, and this is my main point when it comes about value. Value is wins above replacement in baseball. So we talk about WAR. That is, if we were to bring in an average replacement guy, which is why we can't agree on what that is. Right. But if we were going to bring in an average replacement guy from AAA who's game ready right now to replace you if you got injured, how many games would we expect to lose? Or if you replace that guy, how many more games would we expect to win? If Otani has a slightly lower WAR, he's playing both sides of the ball and not even slightly above average, top 10 on both sides of the ball. He also is freeing up an extra roster spot. That's another roster spot that can go to getting a better pitcher or getting a better hitter, something that the Angels brass haven't quite figured out. But that's not Otani's fault. And quite frankly, I think that if you swapped these two and you put Otani on the Yankees would have won more games. As much as people say that Judge is carrying the Yankees now, because he kind of is, as much as one hitter can carry a baseball team, the Yankees are a better team with Otani. Everyone is a better team with Otani. And I think that's where value comes down to. The thing is, Aaron Judge is going to win the American League MVP. I think it comes down to everyone loves records. Baseball has a huge fascination with the New York Yankees.
True.
And we all just have to deal with it.
Yep.
And he is having an incredible season. But I'm also going to say that if he does, I do not give a shit about MVP winners from now on. Because at this point, no longer do I think that the MVP is the most valuable player.
Right. Would it be fair to say that Otani is like 2 top 10 players in one? Like, yeah. That, so, I mean, when you put it that way, I feel like, I don't know. I'm not an expert. You're the expert here, but I think you've made some compelling points. And
he was voted last year to have had the single greatest season an athlete has ever had. He is statistically better this season, and now suddenly he's not worthy of the MVP. What are we talking about? No one does this. Oh, well, no one's done this. Babe Ruth did it for 1 year. 1 year, and he didn't become the hitter that we all remember him as until he had stopped pitching.
Right.
No one does. Bo Jackson. Love Bo Jackson. Absolutely adore Bo Jackson. And I will preface this by saying I understand that Bo Jackson's career was cut short. due to injury.
Indeed, it was. Yes.
Ohtani put more WAR in baseball last year than Bo Jackson put up in his entire 7-year career
Mm-hmm.
combined. He put up more WAR in 1 year. There was a streak this year for a week. Ohtani put up more WAR than the entire Detroit Tigers lineup has put out all year. In a
It's
week,
crazy. Yeah.
Aaron Judge is amazing. He is the best sole position player in baseball, and no one is arguing that. But
Mm-hmm.
he's not the most valuable player.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's possible that like because he already did it, he already had this. He's playing better this year, you said, but he already had this like season where he was rewarded for doing something no one's seen before. Do you think people are taking it for granted? Maybe like, oh, that's just how he is.
Absolutely. The amount of times online and in conversations I've had with people have said, "So what? We just give it to Otani every year."
It's like,
Like,
yeah,
it's over. Yeah, if he's the best player, yeah. Do you understand what you're watching? No one's seen that.
right.
And I also think a big part of it is I still think I was listening to a baseball podcast minutes ago. I forget which one. Ian Haps on it. One of the guys on there had to take that the has to be a player on a team that goes to the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good take personally because
Absolutely wrong. It's just that's not what brings value.
mm-hmm.
Now, I understand why. I think it can be true in some sports. I think basketball you get closer. I
Yeah.
really do. But now you're one of 10 guys and you can feasibly play the entire game. No one's done that no one's done that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can feasibly make more of an impact. In
Mm-hmm.
baseball, that's just not the way it works.
Yeah. No, and even like in basketball, Jack and I had a similar conversation last year with Steph Curry carrying a very injured Warriors team, and they made the playoffs, but it was like when it was getting down to it, was like, are they gonna make the playoffs or not? If they do you give it to him? Maybe he doesn't have like all the stats that some of the other players have, but he is like the person driving, the team. So he is like the most valuable player on a team and putting up stats. So it's such a hard thing to call with these MVPs.
And then we try to look at strictly numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but then we can't even get the numbers to agree.
Right.
I mean, my gut, and I was champion war. I'm the baseball stat guy.
Mm-hmm.
I do argue stats over almost anything. When I see a guy that has top 10 in baseball hitting and top 10 in almost top 5 in baseball pitching, and
Mm-hmm.
has less WAR than a pure hitter, we need to change the calculations. There's something that we're not accounting for. And they play with WAR all the time. I mean, that's the other thing. Everyone thinks that it's set in stone, and it's not. We're still trying to develop what truly is value.
Mm-hmm.
And another example, what is more valuable? If the Yankees don't have Judge, people are still going to Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
How many more people have gone to an Angels game because they can see Shohei?
And not only like an Angels game, but when they've traveled to opposing, I know a ton of people who have like, oh, I have to go. I have to go see him play because it's like not a once in a lifetime. Obviously, hopefully he's going to play for a long time, but like you want to, as a fan, experience it. And so I get that.
Were you having the argument about Steph Curry last year?
The year before, obviously this last year they won the championship, but the year before, everyone except for Steph was hurt on the Warriors, and he was just like carrying them desperately to try to make a push for like the last seed of the playoffs, which he did do. He did carry them there, but no, last year it was a lot better, much to our chagrin, in Boston, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man! So, any other thoughts you have on this? Anything else you didn't touch on that you wanted to?
I think I've said my piece. I could probably talk about this all day.
Yeah, well, I see you're wearing a soccer shirt right now, so I gotta ask: Ted Lasso gonna be in the new FIFA? How you feeling?
Oh, I was on the fence. I'm getting that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's so fun. I thought that was such a cool trailer.
I like how they're actually adding managers to play anyway, because one of my most annoying I do FIFA currently. One of my most annoying parts is trying to build the coach to look like not a monster.
Right.
And instead, I can be Jason Sudeikis. So I know exactly what my pick is. I'm going to be Jason. They also had Beard in there, too. That made me very happy. They didn't announce it, but they had in one of the quick shots was of him. So, but no, I'm not playing as AFC Richmond. He'll be the new Arsenal manager, unless they let me play as Mick Arteta. Definitely be him.
Oh man, so yeah, we'll definitely touch base later. Maybe when when does this Premier League start? Is it happening right now? I don't know anything. Maybe we can talk some Premier League.
Right. Most teams have already played 7 matches.
Okay.
Arsenal's out of the league.
So yeah, as we try to expand everything here on Wicked Good Sports, maybe that can be another segment we do down the road.
Absolutely, I could talk about Arsenal at the drop of the hat, no doubt.
Awesome.
And we have the World Cup coming up.
I know, so exciting. This November is going to be fun. I think the same. It's like Thanksgiving. There's like obviously football, but then USA versus UK in soccer. It's gonna be a good holiday.
It's gonna be intense. World Cup is something else.
Yeah.
If you have ever just take the time to experience the World Cup, it is amazing. I hate what they do this year.
Yeah, that's another story for sure.
Talking about something I could rant about for hours. Oof.
Oh man! All right, where can they find you online or anything you want to promote, anything like that? The floor is yours.
Online, I keep a pretty low profile. However, on the other channel, Wicked Get Everything, we're starting to put together a Dungeons and Dragons podcast that I'm DMing called Show Saving Throw. We've already been able to record one session. We got a couple other dates coming up, so be on the lookout for that.
Yes. So if you're somehow not sick of hearing my voice at this point, I will be on that, and it was a lot of fun the first session. So one thing I've gotten to learn is it's hard to schedule with a lot of people.
It very much is.
The one-on-one is hard enough, let alone getting 6 and 7 people to have on time. But we'll get it figured out. And yes, please subscribe to the main channel. You can follow me on Twitter at @theFakeBMarr. That's BMARR. This channel's on Twitter at Wicked Good Sport and at WG Everything. Instagram, Wicked Good Everything. Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything. And on TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports, search Wicked Good Everything. Follow our blog, wickedgoodeverythingsports.com. They got a lot of football stuff happening there. Weekly pick'ems, who's gonna win. It hasn't gone great so far. I'm gonna be straight up honest. It's not the best, but hopefully we'll turn it around. But Rhett, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Brad.
And we'll see you all in the next one.